What do you say, everybody? 14 Guitars here. It's been a while since I've ridden a dirt bike. Did a lot of traveling. I've been to Green Bay and Staten Island working, and spent 8 days in Costa Rica surfing. So it's been a while, been too long. I don't like to be off a bike for that long. My YZ, I completely rebuilt the front forks and did something else, and I just can't remember what the heck the other thing I did was. But anyway, I finished it all up this morning, and now I'm on my way to MANchester Cycle Trail, MANchester OHV in the Sumter National State Forest, MANchester State Forest in Sumter, South Carolina. I'm actually driving along it right now. This is on my right here, your left. This is an area that's been logged, and as you can maybe tell, it's pouring rain. But it's about to stop. That rainstorm is coming west to east, and that wave or that band, it should pass within just a few minutes, maybe 20 minutes from the time I'm going to get there, which is in about 5 minutes or 3 minutes. I'm going to make the turn. And MANchester is a sand track, and it is like the beach. The wet sand at the beach is you get the most traction. It's the firmest. It's the best. That's what MANchester is. I think I've reported before, right? If you've got a puddle when you pull into MANchester, you can look forward to good conditions. So we've got some puddles on the road. It's not too deep. I mean, we've got pretty steady puddles on this road, but not giant. So that means we got a good soaking, but not a washout. And what that means is the sand is going to be soaking, perfectly wet and brown sugar and incredible. So I'm very excited to be here back at MANchester, good old whoop-de-doo MANchester, and we'll see how we do today. It should be fun. And I'm also excited to try out these forks, because as it turns out, I was looking it up. I had these forks done at Factory Connection back in 2015, and I don't think I've ever changed the seals or the fluid. And I think I put about 200 hours on the bike. I don't put a lot of hours a year on the bike, but I think I put at least 200 hours on it. So I'm excited about the performance. I've noticed for about the last year or so, they were good for a long time, but about the last year or so, I would take the smallest of the jumps. Like I'd be at Enery and take one of those little jumps, maybe a 3-foot jump. And when I would hit, those front forks were like a rock. They were just, there was no give there, and it really didn't matter what settings I used. And I was missing quite a bit of fork fluid as it was. You lose a tiny little bit of fluid every time your forks move up and down. Tiny little bit goes by the seals. So anyway, it looks like I've got a game warden here, so I'm gonna stop and talk to him for a minute. I hope he lets me ride the bike. I hope he doesn't stop me. We'll find out, and I'll get back to you and find out what All right, back again. That was the South Carolina Forestry Commission, and I think he's out. He was out just checking trails and roads, and I just wanted to make sure he didn't have a problem with me riding after this rain, and he didn't. MANchester, like I said, is a sand trail, and the rain really just helps it. It's so nice after a rain, and the rain is slowing down. I think we'll be in the woods here in just a couple of minutes. And I'll go ahead and record that video, and it's going to be a slow, easy ride on these new forks. I also haven't been to MANchester in 3 or 4 months. I would guess 3 at the least. Maybe it's been longer. So of course, this will be a sight lap. I am gonna do all 3 trails. I expect to do all 3 trails: green, red, and blue. Not in that order. I'm gonna start with the red, then do green, then blue, because to me, blue is the prettiest trail. Anyway, I appreciate y'all watching. I hope you enjoy, and I'm gonna have a good time. And when we're done, I have got a venison and cheddar cheese burrito as a snack and a little coffee. So I'll get back to you after that too. Take it easy. If you like my videos, please subscribe and thumbs up, or at least thumbs up. It helps the videos get distributed and offered to people for their review, which brings people in, and I think a lot of people enjoy them, and that will help me get to more people. I appreciate that. All right, take care. I hope you are out riding yourselves, and have a great weekend. A change of plans. I'm going to ride the red trail again. You know, identical conditions with the new suspension settings, so I can compare them back to back. I also know the conditions on the red trail and where the branches are low and all those things now, so I can ride it without thinking as much about this being a sight lap. I just realized I actually haven't ridden Manchester since August, no, September. You know, deer season, yeah, August. Because I don't like to ride it. I don't ride on the weekends generally, and you can't ride. You can only ride here on Sundays during deer season, which is usually August 15th to the 1st of January. So I just ride Enoree. Enoree is open that time of year, and Wombaugh's usually open that time of year except when it gets rained out. Enoree closes January 1st and opens April 1st. So that's prime Manchester time, right? There's no closed for hunting. 7 days a week you can ride. It's not too hot. And you can ride Manchester and Wombaugh. So Manchester, Wombaugh from January 1st to April 1st. Then as much Enoree, Wombaugh, Manchester as I can ride until August. Then we hit deer season. No Manchester except on Sundays. I don't ride it. Okay, now one thing I noticed is my suspension indicator is all the way at the bottom. It's on there pretty tight, so I don't think that it just fell down. I think I compressed my suspension all the way. These were only set, these clickers were set at 12, which is very, very mild. You know, that's the starting point that Factory Connection gave me originally. So I took these compression clickers and I set them to 10 from 12. I changed the rebound from 12 to 8. This low speed compression on here is a 10, so these are all 10s. And I changed this rebound from 12 to 8. So my rebounds are all 8, my compressions are all 10. I'm leaving my high-speed compression still set at 2 turns. 2 turns out. I'm just not going to change that right now. And we'll see how we do on the red trail with these new settings. Now that I've been here and ridden it once, I guess I should have wiped my goggles when I had a chance being back at the truck. But let's go ride. See how she does. I am dragging a bit. Bike's running great. Let's roll. Times better already. Way better. Way more planted. Which should just be the response to the way I ride. You know, you're part of the suspension system as much as the bike is. Well, maybe not as much, but definitely you have a huge impact on the bike behavior, on how you weight the pegs, how you ride the bike. But I gotta say though, it's like night and day. You know, we were kind of riding with very little rebound. Wouldn't surprise me if a good bit of that was the shock. Remember, when you're shocked, rebound is turned way out. It affects your shock compression as well. So a 10 compression setting on your shock with your rebound at 12 is not the same as a 10 compression setting with your rebound at 8. Your compression slows down, gets stronger, more resistant. This is a pretty good sweet spot. I mean, this is feeling so good. And of course, my forks, for the first time in a long time, are really performing well with fresh fluid. The bike's just so, I gotta tell you, night and day. Night and day. Amazing, you know, before you do any suspension changes that cost you money, work with your clickers. Next, work on with your oil levels. Then worry about valving or springs. I mean, you're gonna have to get a spring that's appropriate for your weight. But if it's anywhere in the vicinity, I think you've got a good bit of leeway using your clickers. If you're anywhere near the spring rate that you know that might be optimum. So once again, in order, assuming your spring rate is close enough, clicker, oil level, and then valving. Now, having said that, valving this YZ fork and shock for the Woods was the best investment I've done on this bike. I don't need to go any faster. You know, 46 horsepower is more than enough for my skill set. And what, 38 foot-pounds of torque or whatever it is, 36 foot-pounds of torque, way more than enough for my 62-year-old skill set body. And so new tires, good clicker settings, that'll go a long way to optimizing your ride. But if you do have a track bike, you want to ride woods, revalving the forks for the application you're actually using your bike for is well worth it. You know, for $100, you can get a gold valve and complete instructions from Race Tech. Rebuild your own fork, excuse me, shock for the Woods. Learn a lot about suspension. That's what I did. So you kind of hold your hand through all that, and you learn a lot. And $100 you get a Woods shock. And for the front forks, just learn about valving. And I'd say for $100 in valve stems, they're basically little washers. Change your valve stack if you can learn the technique. I think you can do it for $100. Of course, while you got it open, go and spend $65 on the complete fork seal and bushing kit from Yamaha. And they make it easy and inexpensive. It's, I swear, $65 for OEM quality. You know, people get all balls or these other brands, nothing wrong with them. But if I'm going to spend the money and I can get anywhere near the same price, for me, even up to twice as much, I'm going to use OEM. I trust that Yamaha partners with the right people to produce their parts. Their bikes are very reliable for a reason. So I think I spent 65 bucks on my fork kit. Another 25 for fork oil. Figure $100 in other parts. You're gonna rebuild an older set. 200 bucks. You can revalve your forks for the woods. Heck, if they have good seals and bushings, maybe like $100 bucks. Add $100 in special tools, which you'll never regret getting if you can swing it. There's a great video I saw. What was it? Rebuilding your KYB forks with no special tools. I can't think of the guy's name. If I remember, I'll put the link in the video. Because it turned out that my seal driver that I had for the KX is 2 millimeters too small for the YZ fork. So I'm like, I don't have a seal driver. How am I going to get this seal seated properly? And this guy showed a couple of different ways. The way I used was stacking a layer of electrical tape to the right diameter on the fork leg, and then just using that as the seal driver by moving the fork leg up, knocking it into the seal. It worked fantastic. And I peeled that 4 yards of electrical tape off, wrapped it on the second fork leg, and did the other seal. So for the cost of 4 yards of electrical tape, I seated the seal properly and really quite easily. It took about 2 minutes to wrap the electrical tape. And I didn't even do that good a job as far as you want to stack it up, row up on rope as perfectly as you can to give it a square edge. And my edge was, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, it was a 7, 6. And it's still seated the seat properly. The whole thing was done in under 30 minutes for what, $1 worth of tape? If that. Probably 10 cents worth of tape. Especially if you buy electrical tape in bulk like we do. We buy 10 or 20 rolls at a time. A little box. Yeah, I think I found my new quote best suspension setup. I do want to try these at Wamba, high speed on the power line section. Those long whoops where we tend to go a good bit faster. You know, here maybe 35. We'll hit a whoop there, 45, and every once in a while I'll get all crazy and hit it at 50. Oh, that branch is getting lower and lower as it sucks up that water. That pine tree bent over the trail. Anyway, I consider this a great success. I'm super pumped. I have the bike field. And I think I'll try to just get into a little meditative state here and just ride and enjoy it. 65, 66 degree weather in summertime. Not officially summer yet, but still here in the south, what passes for spring can be a pretty warm time of the year. I'm able to do is control when the back wheel contacts on the downside of the big whoop by pulling weight off the front, then the gun and giving it just a little bit of gas, drives the rear wheel down a little faster than the rebound by itself, and then that shot of gas gets the front wheel to hit right near the top of the next whoop. Like that. Whereas when the rebound was turned way out, I didn't have that control. That rear tire was coming down whether I weighted the bike or not. So I had less customization of how I hit that whoop. A side effect of that control is you have a lot more control when you use up the energy required to use that control. So I'm significantly more winded from that little run there, not just from going fast, but from, you know, weighting my legs, pulling my arms, cranking the throttle, getting on and off the seat. Just a lot more active riding style. Feels good though. The bike just responds. It's pretty awesome. Factory C and 14 guitars have set up some pretty good, a pretty good fork and shock combination. I guess I should post my, I think I have a video, or at least a write-up, that shows my, my shim stack, my shock shim stack. Now I am using the shock, like I said, with gold valve. I think, I don't know how much difference using a stock Yamaha valve would be, whether those will be useful or not. And if you're going to get the gold valve anyway, you get all the same instructions as I did. So take my shim stack with a grain of salt. If I remember to post a little article I wrote on rebuilding the rear shock and how easy it was. Just a little bit to learn, a couple of inexpensive tools, and like, I think it was 150 bucks in total parts. That included the shock rebuild kit with the bladder and all that, and the gold valve. I think around 2017, or I don't know exactly when I did it. It's been a while. So prices have probably gone up a bit. That's better. Lots more control through those whoops. So much better. I get a bit winded is after my cataract surgery, is I tend to lose my vision. A bit. I feel like a little more oxygen going. It's not bad. It's really, it's a focus thing. So maybe the muscles of the eye aren't receiving as oxygen-rich blood flow, so they get fatigued faster. Talking and do some breathing exercises. The one I like is take a deep breath and then you could breathe in on top of that deep breath another breath, as much as you can get. That kind of stuffs your lungs, and then a quick breathe out. So in, out, in, out. And you repeat that 15-20 times, and it tends to saturate your oxygen pretty quickly. I don't know if it's Wim Hof or one of the Gracies. I saw that on a YouTube video. I tried it. It works for me. It works really well surfing. Woods smell incredible. They smell like cedar. It's a beautiful smell. I don't know if cedar pollen has a strong smell. I can't explain why they would smell like cedar. I guess for the bark drying up a little bit, giving off a scent. Not really sure. But eating those woods, it was a wonderful smell. I guess there also could be a flower, you know, that either picks up the scent of the cedar or just happens to coincidentally smell like it. Bouncier if you don't modulate your throttle. But I'm getting to the point where I'm too tired to properly do that, having been gone so long from these conditions. Saw that, but my helmet hit another eyeball widowmaker hanging low. Normally not hanging that low, but wet with moisture from the rain. Alright, so now we're going to slow down to about 60% and breathe. Basically force of recovery. Why am I going left to right? Remember, on the edges, that's the least steep and least deep portion of the whoopsie-doos. If you try to stay on one edge, you run a risk of your rear end sliding down if the angle, the side angle is sharp, and then you is heading off the trail to the left or right. When it's crossed, and just hit the high whoops. You cut your whoops impacts by, you know, up to a third or sometimes more. You can go faster with less fatigue. Speaking of fatigue, I'm feeling it, baby. I'm feeling it. Woo! That's a great feeling. Break it down today, build it up tomorrow. This road, parallel to this road, we're almost back to the truck. I think I'll rest and either maybe ride the blue trail or maybe just go home. I think I'll go home. I got a good workout. I've learned what I needed to learn. And probably ride again on Monday. Maybe try to get in 3 times between, say, Friday and Wednesday. 3 rides. Because I tell you, you ride 2 or 3 days in a row, or 2 or 3 days with just 1 day straight, your muscle memory improvement can be astounding. I'm always shocked at how much better and how much faster I ride on just twice a week or 2 or 3 days between rides. Amazing. Now I would blast this whole set of whoops, but I don't know yet where all the high spots are. So I'm not going to do that. I'll ride a little faster through them than last time. Feels great. On those nice regular whoop-de-doos, holy smokes. That felt so natural. Felt really good. Woo! Good ride, baby. Get this packed up, and then it'll be venison burrito time. So looking forward to that. I enjoyed it. I appreciate y'all watching. Look at that red face. Holy smokes. See you next time. Thank you much.